What's up, guys? I am back in Thailand with Katie.
Hi, guys.
So I'm gonna have her. We're gonna talk a little bit about like our experiences in Thailand because it's amazing. Because you're not from here either.
No,
you came. How long?
do I look Thai?
You never know.
Nearly 2 years.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
she clearly loves it, just like I do.
I
And
do love
she's
it.
considering moving to Koh Samui. Yeah. So where do you live now?
On Koh Phangan.
Okay.
It's a very hippie, spiritual, tantric temptation island, they call it.
And that's where they have the full moon.
Full moon
festival.
parties, yes. Yeah,
So I have been there briefly for that, but other than that. We both, okay, so as fate would have it, of course, the camera died. So we've moved back inside, but now we're plugged in, so we have the time to talk. So, we both really love it here. We really love healing. We really love working with people, but we do it in different ways. You're a Tantra coach /
I'd say sex coach.
Sex coach.
Sex
Okay,
coach.
and I am a life coach. So we're both just coaches teaching you how to love yourself and others well. And the topic that kept coming up is shame and guilt. And I found it very interesting that with both our relationships with our self-love, our self-worth, and with our sexual relationships, there's so much guilt and shame that needs to be let go and healed through that kind of umbrellas over so many of the topics beneath both of our subjects. So, yeah.
It's shame and guilt can show up in any area of life, like not just sexually, also like financially, in family. Like so many mums have mum guilt.
Yeah.
Many females have sexual shame, and just same for men as well. I also know men who who hold sexual shame as well, who've also gone through financial guilt, and it shows up in every area. And I feel like it's really important to, when these things happen, it is a mental thing that can happen, but it stores in our body.
Yeah.
And if you can tune into your body through breath work and through the exercises that we teach and let go of this, shame and guilt is an uncomfortable feeling, and we generally store it like in around our stomach area or actually in the ass. And I was talking about that before. We do store a lot of shame and guilt there. And if you can really tune into your body and go from that being in that contraction to softening into letting go, so much more pleasure is going to come in your life because you're able to kind of lock that out the window. But it's easier said than done. When you're actually living in guilt and shame, you don't actually know that you're holding it. Like, so for you watching out there, you could be living with shame right now, but you're just not sure that it's there. And I think like from where I come from in the sex coaching space, it's kind of sexual shame shows up in a way of not wanting to date, having a fear of intimacy, not initiating sex, not knowing what you like in sex, not knowing your body, having experiences just to please the other man and not really being in tune with that, what is my own pleasure. And that can be because, one, we don't go to school to learn this stuff. And two, because we are holding shame of what we grew up to know sex to be, or what we grew up that our parents did or didn't teach us, or the unhealthy experiences that we've had in our younger years, and we just didn't want to tell anyone about. And we just like, oh my God, this happened to me, I can't tell anyone, I feel so too embarrassed to tell anyone, and we suppress that down. And then the shame that we hold on to really, really affects us as we go on through life.
100%. And it's just like, literally, it's so interesting because listening as you talk through these things, they literally parallel through emotions and joy. And that's what depression is, right? It's smushing down your feelings, your emotions, because you feel shame, or you, especially for men, like you just need to, be a man, be strong, get through it. You feel guilt and shame through expressing your feelings, through expressing like what's actually going on, and then you're not able to handle it and experience joy, right, when those feelings come out, and when you are able to move freely and express freely. And it's such a parallel between like who we are in our emotional selves and our sexual beings and sexual selves, and coming through from a very like conservative Christian background, right? I've moved through and grown through my experience with both emotional needs, emotional words, being able to use like our feeling words, right? and how that's so different too for men and for women, and being able to talk through sex as a beautiful thing, not something that is like bad, but all of a sudden it's okay when you're married. Yeah. And it's just such a incredible parallel between the two. So just be so kind to yourself, right? And like feel free to like look into, take one of our classes or take other classes, but like there's so much power in exploring and learning, and not just being like, I should just be okay. I should just, I'm different because I shut down. Or like if you're shutting down both sexually or emotionally, that is a sign. That is your body telling you like something else is going on. 9 times out of 10, it's not like you just don't like or aren't attracted to him or her. So if you're, I mean, maybe if it's outside of like a relationship, but like if you're just shutting down emotionally or sexually within a relationship or within a space that doesn't really make sense for you to be, there's something to be explored there, and to learn that maybe there's something deeper going on that needs some healing and some work. And that's so freeing to know that like that freedom and happiness and joy and exploration is out there if you're just open to it.
I really like what you said about like tuning off if you're in an experience or in a moment and you are feeling shut down. And I guess what came to me then was this relates kind of into like social anxiety. So because the social anxiety can come from, for example, let's use a female who has been out on a night out and she's had these experiences with some guys and she's felt so much shame and guilt for it. She's been so embarrassed. She's gone home and told no one about it. This is stored in her body. That then will affect how she shows up in social settings, and she could be in a supermarket or in the shops and see men, but subconsciously, because what previously has happened, her body is contracted, and that social anxiety will just hit in a supermarket or in a shopping centre, but she won't even know why. And then from then, that anxiety is like looked at, oh yeah, you just learn to live with your anxiety, and then that anxiety turns into depression, and then we end up sitting in a room with counsellors for 10 hours a week, and we just go around in circles because we're using the mind to kind of process things. But if you can just take a couple of steps back and acknowledge, okay, I had these experiences and I felt really uncomfortable around men when I was younger. So now when I'm seeing men in these situations, is triggering me. So how can you self-soothe and tune into your body in a way of helping yourself and healing, so then this doesn't happen? Having a support network, having a really supportive partner, working with someone in this space is so beneficial. Routine. Because having someone support you goes such a long way. Like you obviously want a safe space, allow yourself to open up, and you want to be able to feel safe to navigate through, because like I suppressed my sexual shame for 10 years. 10 years, and I've like kind of caught up since those experiences, but people go lifetimes with suppression and holding on. A lot of people.
I would say almost most
go and hold that back. And since I let go of my shame, which is such an uncomfortable journey, but I had the right support to navigate that, my life has just blossomed. My life has just become so beautiful on the other side of it, because I'm not holding and contracting myself in, and I can open. And it is uncomfortable. It is scary. But that's where the growth is. You could stay the same, or you can tap into that uncomfortability and you can shift on through.
It gets a little uncomfortable, but that's like anything good in life, like the gym, right? It hurts. I always say too, like, it's that last set. When you're like excruciating, that's when you're building the muscle. So it's uncomfortable to talk about this stuff, but like you said, like have someone that it should so important in a relationship to be able to work through these things and talk through these things and communicate, because then like the opportunities are endless for your growth, and I think it's so important to have in your romantic relationship, but also in your friendships. Like have friendships that strengthen you, that are able to hold a mirror, as my friend Kate says, hold a mirror to you when there's an area you need to work on, but also be able to be honest with you, and you can come and be like, this is uncomfortable for me to say. How are you going to receive it? Like I've had some experiences in the past couple months where I'm like, I don't want to say that this person hurt my feelings right now. And I go into it like years of learning to be tough and like, well, be a strong woman and just be independent and not need But in that moment of forcing myself to be like, tell them they hurt your feelings, it's incredible when you have the correct people in your life to be like, let's work through that. Talk to me. How can we move through this and grow from it, and not be like shut down and we're not going to talk about this and we're get mad and we're going to like then be even more closed off emotionally, sexually, both ways, right? The same sort of thing. But when you can talk about and communicate and grow and move through the discomfort, like, it's beautiful on the other side.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Like, for so much for women. So women are suppressed so much, and you think about everything that you just spoken about that you want to let go of. If we hold it inside of us, we're suppressing it down, and then our internal world becomes in disease. Like we would have eczema, or we would get psoriasis, and everything externally starts coming on our skin, or we start losing hair, or we're just not turned on because we're just holding everything inside of us, and you really want to be able to let go.
Yes. Yes, that's so wild, because I had an experience years ago where that's literally what happened, and my body physically reacted. I hadn't had acne in a long time, and I was in a relationship that I felt like I was being kind of like, I was kind of ultimatumed into it. Long story short, like, because I didn't voice what was going on inside and my discomfort and figure out why am I uncomfortable, like what's going on, I got acne. My whole face broke out like aggressively. And then the moment I was able to like move through what those emotions actually were, it went away. So your body talks, listen to it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? We go to school to learn how many apples are in the bucket and Johnny Appleseed and the capital of Berlin's the capital of France,
Yeah.
And that's great, but I think then it's on us to go on through life to continue learning and know there's so much out there. When I was a CrossFit athlete, CrossFit was my life. That was just it. I was a CrossFit athlete and I didn't know or didn't allow myself to expand. And then I went to another stage of life, and then I opened this box of Pandora's box, and then another stage of life, and just constantly evolving and growing. And some people are on earth just like us to evolve and to grow and to be teaching others. And then some people are on earth just to be really happy within their families, doing their work, coming home, watching TV and going to bed, and that's also completely fine. Everyone is on earth to do something different, but while we're talking into this subject, if you're feeling something that's inside of you, whether you're in a long-term marriage, in a new relationship, and you're feeling uncomfortable, you're feeling embarrassed, you're feeling that you can't speak out, this is the moment to speak out, because having that uncomfortable conversation, it's just like verbally processing it out, it's getting it out of you. It's really, really going to support you on the long run as well.
Yeah, 100%. So, well, lots of info in the bio here, and you're so loved and appreciated, and we appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Bye.